What's up, everyone? It's Tony here for my weekly vlog. Vlog number, don't know, I've lost count now. My first week down post surgery. Let's just call it that. So, where are we at for this week? So, as you know, I got out of surgery last Thursday, out of hospital last Friday. This week, I've basically just been doing my rehab, really focusing, really attacking my rehab, trying to get back to it as soon as I can. So this week I thought I'd take a little bit of a different approach to my vlog and detail what it is exactly that I'm doing for my rehab. So as I mentioned last week, goals for rehab are basically to regain as much strength and control in the knee as possible. So that's what the rehab is built around. So for that, we're following the principle of inhibit, lengthen, strengthen. So that's just going to help me regain some of that strength and mobility in my leg. So I'll go through some of the exercises. Got my trusty foam roller here. Let's get it going. So what we've got here is just your basic foam rolling. So the purpose of this is, it's the first exercise in what's called the inhibition or the inhibit phase. So basically what I'm trying to do here is break up all the really tight muscle fibers in my quad especially, and really allow them to accept some of the changes that are about to be happening in the next few phases, which are the strengthening and the stretching and the strengthening phase. So I'll go through this, just find any tight spots and really try and loosen them up, going through the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, and the glutes, get them all loose and then ready for the next phase. So the next phase is the stretching phase. This is where we take all the muscles that we've just broken up with the foam roller and we try and give them some length. So the purpose of the breaking them up with the foam roller was to allow them to take on this new length. Now what I'm doing here is more specific for my knee and my rehab, but it can be done with any muscle that you feel is tight in your body, quads, glutes, calves, whatever. So with this, I'm holding the stretch for 20 seconds, then I'm lengthening it out again, then bringing it back for another 20-second hold. I normally do this for about 5 sets, and then I move on to the next exercise. So the next exercise in my rehab is a calf stretch. So I'm trying to stretch out the calves to straighten my leg again. Because my hamstrings are so tight, the way I'm pushing my knee backwards is actually stretching my hamstring out as well. So I'm getting that dual effect of stretching the calves and stretching the hamstring. So one goal for my rehab was to achieve a straight leg within 4 weeks or so. And this is just helping me get there. So I do about a 20-second hold here, and I do about 3 sets of these before I move on to the strengthening phase. So this is the first exercise in my strengthening phase of my rehab. You can see my leg is pretty banged up here in terms of the bruises and the cuts and whatnot that are still there. Pretty normal, only being a week out. But what I'm trying to do here is really pull my quad really tight. So just contract it with my mind. I'm trying to drive my knee down as much as possible whilst doing this. So this will allow me to have greater quad control when I go back to things like walking, moving, squatting, that sort of stuff. So for me, this is really hard, but it's getting easier and easier the more I do it. So the second exercise in my strengthening phase is what I call a leg lift. So again, I've got my foot propped up on the foam roller. And what I want to do here is contract the quad as tight as possible, straighten that knee down as much as possible, and move my ankle and my knee at the same time. I don't want any movement occurring in the knee. I want to try and keep it as stiff and tight as possible. So this is going to give me stability when I'm walking and when I come up from a squat, that sort of stuff. This gets pretty hard and intense. And if you're applying it to your own sort of training, mobility stuff, it can be anything like a squat, which I'll show next. Any other specific strengthening exercise for the muscles that you're trying to gain some more mobility in. So I normally do about 10 of these try and do about a 3-second hold at the top, but it gets pretty painful, so that's not always doable. So the final exercise in my strengthening phase is a squat. Now, my range isn't too great at the moment, so it's only a half squat. The purpose of this, though, is for me to contract both the quad and the hamstring together at the same time to be able to give me that stability in that knee that I need to be able to do things like the squat. So I'm really trying to tighten that quad and that hamstring as I go down as far as I can go and then come back up. It's quite painful doing this, and my range is only getting better the more I do it. And hopefully I'll be able to go ask the grass real soon again. So there you have it, guys. That's the rehab process that I go through on a daily basis. I normally do about 3 lots of that every day, followed by 20 minutes of icing my knee straight after, just to reduce the swelling and get rid of some of that pain. So where am I at for this week that's just gone by? I've just basically been sitting around watching movies, playing video games. It gets pretty boring, going stir crazy, but you know, it's gonna get better from here. I've got my post-operative checkup on Friday. So there he'll hopefully take off the bandages, take off the patella pad, have some pretty little scars to show you, and we'll see what sort of progress the knee has got and detail my timeline going forward in terms of recovery and what I can do. So in the terms of the timeline, I mentioned last week I've got specific goals. The first goal for me to achieve in 4 weeks was to achieve a 90-degree bend in my leg and a straight leg. I've achieved both of those in the first week. So it's looking pretty good in terms of hitting the goals and the recovery timeline. And we'll just see what he has to say going forward from here. So really looking forward to that on Friday. Hopefully I get the all clear to go back into the gym to do some upper body stuff. So that'll be really good. I'll go back, do some more rehab later today. And in this week, I'll probably go into phase 2, which adds in a couple other exercises to strengthen up my hamstring and glutes and further stretch the knee a little bit more. So I'll probably detail those in the next vlog next Sunday. So yeah, look forward to that, guys. I'll see you then. Have a great week. Take care.